let's talk about intentional and unintentional plagiarism. Since the beginning of academic study, students have been overwhelmed by the amount of research, reading, and writing we have to do. We're often taking up to 5 courses every term, and each course has multiple essays, often due around the same time, not to mention all of the daily course reading and quizzes and midterms and finals. It's easy to find ourselves struggling with writing assignments. Writing an academic paper requires time, effort, and a lot of critical thinking. And there's one thing you should always keep in mind: plagiarism. It's easy to consider using somebody else's work, AI, buying a paper, or any other way except writing a paper ourselves, especially when marks are involved. Intentional plagiarism is a serious issue that can have severe consequences on your academic and professional life. It's easy to understand what it is and how to avoid it. But what about unintentional plagiarism? What's that? Unintentional plagiarism is exactly what it sounds like. We're not doing it on purpose or knowingly. It usually happens when we're not paying attention to our citing or formatting. To us, it's an oops, but to our professors and the schools we attend, it's flat-out plagiarism. Some examples of this are: similarity is one common example of unintentional plagiarism. It's when a student tries to paraphrase a source but ends up using too many similar words or sentence structures without proper citation. Even if the student's intention is to rephrase the information in their own words, if it closely resembles the original source, it can be considered unintentional plagiarism, or your professor might call it similarity. Another example of unintentional plagiarism is when a student mixes different citing styles throughout their paper. Maybe the student wasn't sure of the specific citation style required by their instructor or institution, but it's also a red flag to the professor that the student is likely submitting work written by someone else. Something you might not know is that if a student misses important information or punctuation, this is also a form of plagiarism. Writing author names incorrectly, or forgetting page numbers, or missing one quotation mark, or not including the publication date. Small things like this all fall under unintentional plagiarism. Even if a student has properly paraphrased or cited the original source, missing or incorrect citation details can lead to charges of plagiarism. Most often, these mistakes are found in the reference page entries. Intentional or unintentional, both types of plagiarism are treated the same. As students in college or university, it's expected that all students know the conventions of academic writing. The "I didn't know," or "it was an accident," or "I'm not from here," or "I'm an older student, I didn't know." None of these work. In the interest of being fair to all students, there are no excuses when it comes to academic misconduct. The consequences of plagiarism can be severe. Academic institutions have strict policies to combat plagiarism, and the consequences can range from failing a course to being expelled from school. The one rule among all universities is, it's not up to the professor to prove your academic dishonesty, it's up to you to prove your innocence. But there are simple steps you can take to avoid plagiarism and ensure your work is original and properly credited. Understand plagiarism. Annotate your sources, take good notes, and keep track of your sources with a library log, an Ishikawa diagram, or similar mind map. Use proper citation and referencing for your department. Most of us will be in a couple of different departments that use different citation styles, so be sure you know which one you need for each paper. Learn how to summarize and paraphrase correctly. Have your institution's writing center double-check your work. Don't go to your friends or relatives. With your writing center, you have email receipts to show that you got help honestly. It takes some good time management and a lot of work, but you can avoid accidental plagiarism and protect your academic and professional future. University is expensive. Protect your investment by practicing good academic integrity.